What's up, guys? Today we're talking about the correct way, scoop more into the frame here, the correct way to think about promoting your band's music, because there are a lot of misconceptions out there and it just does not do you any favors if you want to be extremely successful. A lot of bands still think in terms of, oh, I just need to get that one lucky break, I need the one right person to stumble across, and then, no. No, that is bad. That is why you think no one buys music anymore. It is not random, it is not a fluke, it is not something where you just put your music out there and you hope whatever God you believe in, that the right person finds the... No! I can't tell you how many people I see do this, and then they're like, oh, well, I guess no one buys music anymore, and then they give up. And it's like, guys, if you had just thought outside the box for 2 seconds... I'm sorry. I get very emotional about this because there are literally bands that I have loved that have given up because of this mentality. Okay, so I remember when my band put out our first album, immediately we got jumped on by a pretty high-end publicity company, Progsphere. They've done interviews for Animals as Leaders, Periphery. Those were the name drops. There was a whole list of like a dozen or 24 bands. Those were the ones that jumped out at me. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'll pay you $200 to have you do some interviews and push those around to your sites. And maybe that's what I need to do. That gets exposure, right? So the problem with this, the very, very big problem with this is it didn't get my music in front of the right eyes. Okay, because, yeah, it's symphonic metal with progressive tendencies. I can blast it around to, like, generic umbrella genre metal sites, but the odds that it's the type of metal that people want is just not likely for me. It's just probably not going to work so good, right? And that was exactly the issue. So, it was, I mean, it was only $200, right? It could have been way worse, but not a big deal. It was a flop. Whatever. Move on. What I should have done, and what I advise everyone to do now, is take that $200 and get really, really good at targeting your Facebook ads. Bring in those people on social media. Instead of using a middleman to hope that they stumble across you, just bring them to you. This is why you don't need a record label anymore either, because record labels just blast mass promotion out there to everyone and hope that a significant percentage gets bombarded by their blast promotions that they buy your stuff. And then the record label takes most of the profits of that. It is not hard to get so good at targeting that you're bringing in people for less than you are selling to them for. And if you really are serious about making a living with music, that is what you need to figure out how to do. And I know, because I've been doing this whole teaching thing for a number of years now, that immediately with what I just said, that it's not hard to do this, people are going to flood into the comments and go, oh, you're wrong, it's really hard to do, you're trying to sell me something. What am I trying to sell you? What am I trying to sell you? Nothing. I'm sorry. End of story. This is not a plug. I'm not selling you anything in this video. I'm telling you what you need to do to be successful so that we, as a culture of musicians, can finally kill this myth that no one buys music anymore and you cannot be successful. That's it. And it's very predatory. You know, if you look at Reverb Nation, which I think is finally on its way out, I think they're starting to die. Their entire thing is look at these perks, right, that you can sign up for. That, oh, this record label executive wants to listen to a band, pay us a fee and we'll put your music in front of them. It's so incredibly predatory. And to say nothing of the record labels, who are getting increasingly predatory with the deals that they offer because they have to. Because they need to milk more and more money because their method isn't working anymore. Our method as independent musicians, are the free market solution to a record label's controlled monopoly for decades on music. Just period. And if you want to be a part of that, It's gonna require some out-of-the-box thinking, but I can promise you from personal experience, you can actually make a very comfortable living literally just from music. We're not talking about touring. We're not talking about teaching. We're talking about literally just like CDs, shirts, the things you're doing with music anyway. Because there are people out there who actually would want to support you. You just have to stop thinking with the scarcity mentality, stop thinking that you don't have control, stop handing control over to other people, and there you go. That's it.
Thanks so much for watching. I have new videos on music marketing coming out every Wednesday, as well as other music lessons of various types coming out every single day. And that includes songwriting, instrumentation, creative mindsets, audio engineering, everything you could possibly need. I aim to make this channel the single destination for anything and everything you will need to achieve success in music.